Drop it. Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to my channel. My name is Flexi and I know it's been a long time since my last video, but I'm really hyped to be back with this one because this, in my opinion, this is a real banger. So the other day I've been talking to my boy Atomic about Adamancipators, especially because one of our friends has asked for a budget list, and then I kind of said that Adamancipators don't really function without Halq firebreak, so it's not going to be entirely budget. But then Atomic made me aware of the fact that it's actually very much possible, and it's almost even more fun in my opinion to play without Halq firebreaks and without focusing on that one combo line. So yeah, I'm pretty much here to introduce you to this, and so I shuffled the deck a second ago and I'm going to do a quick test hand just to explain to you guys how it could work. Now, one of the changes you can see compared to other Adamancipator lists is that we're playing the barrier statue of the Drought, I think it's called. And yeah, let's just play through this hand real quick. So first of all, I'm going to activate Unexpected Die, and I'm going to summon the best monster in the entire game, which is a statue of the Easter Island. Very fun card, very nice artwork and stuff like that. And now I'm probably going to normal summon, yeah, the Adamancipator Seeker, which I could also normal summon. Actually, Prank Kits is probably even the better normal summon in this case. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the normal summon Prank Kits, because in this variant, especially because we don't have access to the Halq firebreaks version, it's even more important in my opinion to get access to the link to Prank Kits. So playing through the engine real quick, I'm going to link it away for Meow Meow, and then trigger the effect, gain 1000 life points, and summon from the deck Fansies, which when I link this one away and summon the link to Prank Kits monster, is going to send one Prank Kits monster from the deck to the graveyard, summoning the link 2 here. I'm going to send, where is it? Roxy's, to summon Roxy's. And now since I have access to the level 4 already, I'm going to overlay for Gallant Granite, detach material to search. We are going to search Researcher, the best card in the main deck pretty much. And now, as you might have noticed, since you're not always going to be able to start with Statue of the Easter Island and stuff like that, the combo lines aren't as clear cut in Adamancipators, so you always have to look at your hand and see or figure out from there what you're going to be able to do. In this case, yeah, I'm going to activate the effect, special summon because I control a rock monster, and then activate the effect to excavate. Now it doesn't really matter. Actually, yeah, it does. I'm going to summon Doki Doki here. At first I was going to say it doesn't really matter because you're going to use one of the monsters to go into Appaloosa anyways. But I would like to have the barrier statue in the graveyard, because usually you want to stack it to the top of the deck with signs and then summon it off of one of the Adamancipator effects, because otherwise you're not going to have a way to summon it from the hand. But right now I'm going to use Doki Doki effect, discard this, and then summon a level 4 Rock Earth monster, which is most likely going to be, is it Seeker or Analyzer? No, Analyzer, because it's the only Adamancipator monster we're not going to be able to special summon anymore. And now, from here on out, we can use, let's take these right here and summon Appaloosa for 3. And now we're going to be able to use the Analyzer, yeah, Analyzer effect to excavate. And now since we have Appaloosa on field already, we could summon Supplier to search a Guardian, or we can also summon Dragite to draw a card, which is the same amount of card advantage generated. Also, I just remembered that we have Supplier in hand, so the next time we link or synchro away a rock monster, we can summon it to gain more advantage. Dragite is going to draw us a card, Monster Reborn, which is insanely good. Next, we can use these to summon this, and then trigger Supplier to search Guardian, just for the free advantage and the extender. And now, since we still haven't used the secret effect, we can... Actually, we can also go for the excavation first. With the... what's this one called in English? Raptide. And we can summon any one rock monster. Let's see, I think I'm going to go with Guardian here. And now... I think I'm going to overlay these into Dweller. Then use Secret Effect. Yeah, to summon, and then Secret Effect to excavate. A level 4 is perfect here actually, because there's one more card that I would like to show off, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm going to use these to summon Leonite. Leonite effect, please give me good excavates. 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. 5. I'm going to add relief here. Or I think, or no, actually it's relief. I thought it's supposed to be like a geographic term, but no, it's just relief. Okay, adding relief off of Leonite, and now with Monster Reborn, which should have been Signs, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to summon Barrier Statue of the Drought. And this is actually, this is the most insane test hand I've had, like, ever since I've gone away from the Halq variant. And not a single test hand have I been able to perform this end board, which is insane. I mean, the only thing that could be better is if I had like a spell negate. So if this one was like a level 2 tuner, for example, I could link away those two for level 8 for a spell negation, spell trap negation. But this is still pretty insane, because this is a DD Crow effect. So if we have a wind monster in graveyard, which we either do by being able to summon Parallel Exceed, or in this case, since we've gone through the entire Brain Kids engine, we have Fancies in the graveyard. So did I shut it off? I'm not sure. Yeah, so here we have Fancies in the graveyard, so we can use the DD Crow effect off of Raptide. We have the Brain Kids Link 2 in the graveyard, so we have access to the Leonite effect of reborning a rock monster, which also technically means you could save the Monster Reborn as follow-up and then reborn the Barrier Statue of the Drought with Leonite effect on the opponent's turn, which is also pretty good. Then we have a Monster Negate in Guardian, we have Abyss Dweller as a graveyard, Floodgate pretty much, and then we have 3 Appaloosa Negates. This is pretty insane. And now the one card that I wanted to talk about is Adamancipator Relief. Also we have the Guardian in hand, but it doesn't really matter. Relief tributes any amount of Adamancipator monsters on your side of the field to pop that many +1 cards your opponent controls. So, and also it's, as you can see, it's kind of searchable by Leonite effect. So in this case, for example, I could tribute those two and then destroy 3 cards on the field. And if I had another space, like if I didn't have the Guardian, for example, or if I didn't reborn the Barrier Statue with Monster Reborn, I could have also used Leonite effect instead of reborning the Barrier Statue to reborn another Adamancipator monster and then tribute it off to get a 4th pop pretty much. Or you could also, for example, pop this one to pop 2 cards with relief and then use it to reborn the Raptide to still have the DD Crow effect if you weren't able to use it before using the pop, right? So not only is this board extremely oppressive, but it's also in itself very flexible what you can do with it, and you don't have to stick to like one set game plan, and even the end board itself. So it's really amazing. I'm really happy that I've been able to pull this test hand off for the video. I was kind of worried that I might have like a bad hand and then I wouldn't be able to pop off or whatever, but I just think that this goes to show how insane Adamancipator can perform even without Halq 5 breaks. And yeah, as I've said, the combos the combo starts and the combo lines and stuff are not set in stone. There are some similarities, like going through the Prank Kids engine, going to Appaloosa first, summoning Reptide, Leonite, searching, summoning, adding, stuff like that. But you're not every time, like, you're not always going to end on the barrier statue. This is just an addition. You're not always going to be able to end on relief. Sometimes you don't want to add relief because you already draw it. You're not always going to be able to end on Abyss Dweller. Sometimes you're not even going to be able to go into an Appaloosa. So that's what kind of makes it really fun for me to play this. And yeah, without further ado, I would say let's go into the deck profile. Okay, so now that I've sorted out the deck, I would say let's hop right into the deck profile. So in terms of the Adamancipator cards, obviously I'm going to play 3 Researcher, 3 Seeker, and 3 Analyzer. Not much to say here, they're the main cards of the deck. I played 2 Dragite because opening it can sometimes be good because you can normal summon it, link it into All Rush, and then trigger your what's it called? Parallel Exceed. Or sometimes you can also normal summon it and before that use die to summon a level 4 and then go into Gallant Granite and stuff like that. And also, if you open 1 in your hand, you still would like to excavate it, so playing 2 is pretty good in my opinion. And then I play 3 Signs. It's also the best card in the deck. It's a monster reborn, it stacks your deck, it's searchable off of Leonite, stuff like that, it's insane. And I played 2 Relief. I used to play 3 Relief for a couple days, or when I started rebuilding this deck. I initially had 3 Relief. You could technically do that as well because opening it is not too bad. But the thing is, once you get to the point where you summon Leonite, which allows you to add this card if you excavate it, you're going to only have like 25 cards left in your deck, and then having 2 is still enough to be able to excavate it often enough. So I don't think playing more than 2 is really necessary, but it's possible. It's not going to break you too badly. The next engine I'm playing here is the Prankit engine, consisting of 3 Roxies, 1 Dropsies, and 1 Fansies. I used to play Lampsies in this engine, but Lampsies isn't really necessary because you have the Link 2, which is a fire already, and also I just played 2 different Prankits aside from Roxies because I would like to see them more often in the opening hand, which means you could technically also play Lampsies, so you're more likely to open them. But it's for out of like place reasons, space reasons, I would prefer not to do that. So this ratio is currently what I'm going for, but it's still worth to be tested. Then the next is the Quackimera engine, of course. Guardian being a monster negate, which can be normal summoned as well, is pretty huge. Also, Guardian and Researcher together, normal summoning Guardian, special summoning Researcher, popping up from there is pretty huge. And then 3 Supplier, which is not only an extender from hand, but also searches the Guardian, which, yeah, it's just 3+ pretty much. The next thing is the Unexpected Die engine with 2 Statues of the Easter Island, favorite card in the game, 3 die, which allows you to play without your normal summon to an extent. You usually still want to use your normal summon, but this kind of alleviates the stress of having to rely on it, and if your normal summon is like hand trapped or whatever, the game is not necessarily over because you still have possibility to go into things like Gallant Granite, which is pretty cool. Then I play 3 Parallel Exceed as mentioned before. I'm considering going down to 2 Exceed because you don't really need them. I mean, it's best you open them as often as possible, but it's not going to end, or like you're not relying on opening them, so playing 2 is probably not too bad, but right now I'm still sticking to 3. And then 2 Doki Doki, which could also be a decent normal summon, but also just helps you extend your plays, sometimes even greatly, because you can also use it to summon things like, I think it's Analyzer? Yeah, should be Analyzer, which you can special summon turn 1, so that's pretty cool. And then the 1 Barrier Statue of the Drought, which I've only thought about recently when Atomic made me aware of that it's a rock level 4 earth monster, which is huge, and just as you see in the test hand, like topping off that board with 4 negates and like a dweller and stuff like that, with this floodgate is extremely insane, and that you're able to stack it to the top of your deck with signs it's just borderline broken if you ask me personally, but it's not too consistent either, so you know. And then the final 2 cards are Monster Reborn and Caught by the Grave. Caught by the Grave, obvious against hand traps. In Monster Reborn, it's just an additional extender, but also it comes very handy in cases where you have to get rid of your barrier statue from the hand or something like that. So Monster Reborn, probably the best extender you could play in this deck. And now to the extra deck, there is, in terms of rock focus cards, there's Reptide, which is a DD Crow but also summons from the deck. Which is even better than the main deck monsters, because the main deck monsters summon non-Adamancipator monsters, but with Reptide you can also summon Adamancipator monsters. Leonite adds one of the excavated cards, which is pretty cool, and also allows us to play Relief. And then there's Dragite, which is the spell trap negation I've talked about earlier, and it also comes in very handy going second because it can bounce a certain amount of cards, sometimes even 5, which is huge, but so far I haven't had that before. And then there's the 1 Gallon Granite, which allows us to search any card, usually Researcher. Also the Praying Kids engine, allowing you to go +2 essentially and just go into a free Appaloosa most of the time. The rest is just generic extra deck cards. Technically you could also play less of the generic extra deck monsters and just focus on a more mid-range Adamancipator, like grindy extra deck, but I don't really think that's necessary. So what else I'm playing is 1 Dweller. Depending on the format, it can be a game winner, and I really like it, especially in formats like this one. Then there's 1 Zeus, which I'm still not sure about, but I'm keeping it in for now. Especially going second with like Dark Ruler, you can use it with Abyss Dweller or a Gallon Granite, which has like 2300 attack points, I think. Can come in super clutch. Then there's Almirage, which sometimes can be used with your normal summon to trigger Exceed, which comes in handy. There's Nightmare Phoenix for now. I'm not still sure about whether I'm going to play it. I might also put in Cerberus instead of Phoenix, because Cerberus, if I remember correctly, is an Earth monster, and that means that if you happen to summon the Barrier statue and then turn 3 you're not able to OTK off of your current board, you might want to link away the Barrier statue so you're able to summon things like Boros Dragon or whatever, which you won't be able to do without linking away the Barrier statue, and you can only do that with an Earth monster. So I'm still not 100% about that, but that's what I have for now. And then I have Boros Dragon, as I've mentioned, usually just a free OTK, and then the Appaloosa for going first, protecting from the Biru, just free monster negates as well. Actually, yeah, like this. And if you've counted, those are, I think, only 11 extra deck monsters. I also play some generic negates like Crystalwing Synchro Dragon or Herald of the Arclight. There are some other cards. Oh, Link Spider is also one which can come in handy sometimes. But those are in different decks right now, which I haven't been able to find on the on a quick note. So this is what the extra deck's looking like for now. And the side deck is also not complete at the moment because I've just freshly started to rebuild the deck. But the one important card in the side deck is Gravity. What's it called in English? Something like Gravity, whatever. Gravity Collapse. Gravity Collapse. It's called Gravity Collapse in English. When your opponent tries to summon a monster, you tribute 1 synchro monster you control, negate the summon of your monster, destroy the monster, and then for the rest of the turn your opponent is not able to summon monsters. Which, like, hello? That's completely broken. And I wouldn't want to play this going first because you're not sure whether you're going to see it or not, and then turn 2 and onwards it's not helpful at all. But dude, like, going first, resolving this card is it's almost an FTK, right? So yeah, I'm citing this card for sure, and then the other cards are going to be things like Dark Rule No More. In terms of meta, it's probably going to be a lot of like Scythe DPE counters, like Cosmic Cyclone, DD Crow, Forbidden Chalice, stuff like that. Aside from Dark Rule No More, I might even move Dark Rule No More to the main deck. I'm not too sure about that yet, but it's still a possibility. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, leave a like if you want to see more like this. If you have any suggestions for the deck, if you have any questions about the deck, then leave them in the comments below. I'm going to respond to them, of course. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I always say that there's going to be more content like this, and then I take like a multiple month break, but I'm really looking forward to uploading more videos every time I do say so. Especially now that I've had new inspiration blown into me with the Adamancipator deck and stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely say it's worth subscribing. And other than that, guys, see you next time.